Hi everybody, it's James of Cryptoconsh, and I have an interesting one for you today. It is an interview with the developers from LikeCoin. In case you forgot, LikeCoin is a very unique Layer 1 project on the Cosmos, and they aim to do decentralized publishing. So under their Layer 1, they have a lot of apps, or dApps as some call them. They focus on something called ISCN technology. So basically, when you connect your wallet and you publish anything, it is registered via an ISCN, which is an update of the ISBN. So with this, you can put PDFs, pictures, text, articles, and it will already be registered to you. So if you click on My Publishing here on their website app.like.co, whatever you have published, I've published 2 things, is directly registered to you and your address permanently. Unlike royalties, when an NFT is sold, you may be able to acquire royalties if people republish your content or use your content in certain articles. So at the moment, depub.space is getting a lot of development. I connected my wallet, as you can, and you can see the top trending statements on this app right now. Of course, LikeCoin airdrop was very, very popular. I can click on that. It's all linked to their address. See, there was some about osmosis, some about Hong Kong. One is in Chinese, Shangang, and one is in English, and then 4 seasons. So yeah, this aims to be a decentralized Twitter, and every time you write something on here, you will pay 0.001 LikeCoin, which is pretty much nothing. So I'm interested to see what this is, what the general direction is, how they intend to develop it, and how these guys intend to move forward, not just with depub.space, but with their ISCN tech and their plugins you might find online. The intention of it being decentralized is if you click like using the liker button, which you can embed on websites via WordPress, is the content creators will be rewarded, and there will also be a DAO for this. If you want to know more about this, I've already made a video on it, and without further ado, let's get into the interview. How are you guys doing today?
We are great. I'm fine. I'm in the office. Keen.
I'm actually in quarantine.
Where are you in quarantine right now?
Taiwan.
Oh, in Taiwan. Lovely
Yep.
place. I've been there a few times. Before I begin, I'll introduce myself. It's James of Cryptoconsh, and then we have Phoebe. I believe you're the marketing department for LikeCoin.
Yeah, currently handling biz staff on our Likerland team, which is one of the core team of LikeCoin development.
Great. And Kin, the founder, I believe.
Hi, yeah, I'm the co-founder of LikeCoin.
Well, nice to meet you both. So let's crack on with the interview, shall we? So what made you guys start LikeCoin? Where did the idea come from?
Maybe I'll take the question.
Sure.
So as creators, we find that our contents are always trapped in platforms. By trapped in platform, it's very much like your money is in the bank, but the money doesn't really belong to you. So we have a saying that not your key, not your coin, right?
Right.
Actually, it's custody. So your money is custody in the bank. So we seldom realize that our content is actually kind of customized in, say, Facebook or any other platforms. So we want a mechanism for people to truly own their content and do what they want with it. Say anything, just carry their content with them across different platforms. We mix them with others, mint NFTs, sell it, whatever, without being controlled, trapped in a closed garden. So that's our intention to start LikeCoin.
Yeah, I've seen the content. It's very freedom-based. I see that. But I guess I looked at the technology for a while, and basically you have a creator who would create a piece of work, and then if somebody referenced that piece of work, it would link back to the creator. That was on Likerland. I recently tried to access Likerland. It doesn't seem that it's accessible at the moment. Is that because you're focusing more on the kind of anonymous Twitter side of things?
Maybe I can give a more overview of what LikeCoin does, actually. I think LikeCoin as itself is a chain on Cosmos SDK. And Likerland, as you mentioned, is one of the dApps built upon LikeCoin, including depub.space, which we might touch a little bit more on that decentralized version of Twitter. And Likerland, by design, it acts like a readers. For all content that install a LikeCoin button, which creators can be rewarded with like, and you can simply manage your like on a mobile version of Likerland. So Likerland is the very first dApps that happened in Litecoin, and major target audience are Chinese audience, and they can manage their asset without adopting any blockchain native products. Like they don't know about Kepler, they don't know about how they can stake on several DEXs, for example. So they can basically handle everything in one app. So that was the reason why Likerland exists. So perhaps, James, when you get on board there, you might not be the target audience, so it is a bit confused. But that was the existing dApps that serve that kind of target audience right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing around with it over the last few days, and I have been looking at the kind of references they have at the moment on the digital app itself. There is references mostly to the airdrop, and my question is how are you going to try to kind of expand this and expand the target market with this and pull out other areas and give it? Well, it's quite a broad question, I understand, but not only increase the user base, but add extra functionality like Twitter would have. I understand that a few people like Zoltanelis asked these kind of questions to me to ask to you via YouTube.
We're talking about depub.space, right?
Yeah, depub.space.
Yeah, I think I'll go first, and then maybe Keen can add a few points. So depub.space is a crypto native dApps. It logged in with Kepler. Basically, you only need to connect wallet, and then you can post anything. So the first approach, and we strongly recommend the community to adopt, is the Cosmos ecosystem itself. Because we don't see any similar apps that actually happen in Cosmos, which is like a social app and a content sharing platform. And so that would be the first angle. And maybe you can notice on the left, except the airdrop, which might be the most active one because we have an airdrop campaign right now, is all project default channels. So meaning if you are a project owner, especially in Cosmos, you can actually reach a very narrowed, actually targeted target audience on this platform. You can never see this happen on Twitter, which you have a very centralized Cosmos ecosystem. Because this product by default is designed to log in with Kepler, meaning all onboarded users are actually Cosmos native already. So that would be the first approach. That's why we reach out to James, we reach out to quite a few influencers on Cosmos to try to check this thing out. And actually, we have quite nice early feedback and adoption on that. But of course, in the future, we need to start capture majority of the Cosmos users into this space. Especially this is designed for Cosmos, so why not?
So what's the goal to do that? I can see that there's a Juno thread. I can see that there's other threads on there, but how are we going to manage to capture these people on the Cosmos?
Can you want to?
Yeah. Let me add some more information. So I as we talked to the developer of depub, so there are various teams in the LikeCoin ecosystem. What I know is, so you see, meanwhile, there's no followed feature. So you cannot follow somebody yet. And that's the reason, major reason why you are seeing the topics being quite centralized surrounding certain topics such as airdrop, Cosmos ecosystem, and etc. Because people discover content, and the contents are curated by topics only, the hashtags. But when the follow feature is launched, so the topics will be much more diversified, because you are basically discovering content through following different people. But that's a very important feature to be launched together with the upgrade of LikeCoin Chain, which include the NFT feature. Because following in depub is not same as following in Twitter. I mean, the effect is same, but the difference is that as an influencer or as a creator, you can charge for people to follow you. So you can say it takes 1 Litecoin or 100 Litecoin to follow me. So that, and say I want to follow you. I'll buy your NFT, the NFT of your profile, as a ticket to see the posts that you are posting. And so I mean, from Litecoin's perspective, we are working very hard on upgrading the chain to support NFT, so that the dApps working on top of Litecoin can provide features like these.
So you'll have an NFT essentially connected to your account if you want to be. I see. So right now, fundamentally then, the feature that you want to add particularly is going to be the follow feature. So then the next question I have then is, if you integrate the follow feature, what is going to stop somebody from saying, all right, guys, I'm going to give you 1 like each if you follow me? What's going to stop somebody like forcing influence in that way? Is that going to be possible?
Let me think. I didn't talk to the depub developer regarding this particular question, but according to our chats, like from time to time in the community, this is probably not. I think this is probably not an issue, because it was an issue. Probably it is still an issue on Web2 platforms like Facebook, to so-called to buy like and buy friends.
Yes,
it's because they have an algorithm that that if you have more friends, maybe your fan page or your account will be more exposed to others. But for depub, they don't really use algorithm to help users or to. They don't make decision for user what they can see and what they cannot. I would actually say, but this is really just my personal answer. I would actually say it's actually okay from the perspective of Web3 Twitter without algorithm to create content. It's actually okay for influencers to pay user to follow them.
Just like in the real world then. So crypto really is the Wild West, isn't it?
But this is actually really my personal opinion.
In terms of user acquisition, providing incentive could be one of the angles to onboard influencers or early adopters. Basically just like any airdrop, right? Like the reason behind airdrop is you get a taste of the product itself, and then you will stay for the services or that you really like the community. So I honestly don't think it will be on the infrastructure side of design that forbidden this kind of thing. It could be one of the acquisition strategy in terms of giving like or incentive.
So incentives could actually pull people to the platform. All right, so that makes perfect sense. So imagine then the project is successful, people are incentivized, there's more people using the platform on the Cosmos, and it becomes kind of a very Cosmos-based platform. What would be the next steps for you then to expand that beyond the Cosmos? I mean, I remember in the early days you were working on the Ethereum platform before you ported over to the Cosmos. That's correct, right? So would there be any chance that you would try to expand towards that platform, or would you go in it? What kind of direction would you be looking to go in once you've captured Cosmos users essentially on this platform?
I would say actually just let users carry the product, because you are not really doing in the centralized way. You don't do curation. I think we should have to say, for example, entertainment, or I think it should have to art. So it's the users, it's the community that make the judgment who are using it, who are getting popularity, and then the influencer, and then the topic will go viral and get more users. Also, geographically, it's the same. So I don't think the depub team or LikeCoin has a centralized stance on where to carry the user to. although there may be some culture that you can see in the LikeCoin ecosystem, in the LikeCoin community, but that's I would say that's from the community, by the community, not from the development team to the community.
And
Yeah, sure. Please go on.
yeah, maybe I add a more holistic view of what LikeCoin had. Depub.space is currently one of the dApps. And currently overall, we have more than 8,000 sites already installed LikeCoin plugin or in the ecosystem. There are over 25K creators. We're talking about layman creators in the ecosystem. So will existing users convert to using depub.space? It could be one of the potential. But if not, it's fine because they're still in the ecosystem using other dApps, like you mentioned, Likerland. And then we have a WordPress plugin, which is awesome. So do they necessarily need to adopt depub.space? I don't think so. But they are all LikeCoin stakeholders.
Yeah,
so,
it's great. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, it's great you have a multitude of apps, and I encourage a lot of people to go check them out. Hopefully, Likerland will be up and running again soon, because it's great. The WordPress plugin is really good because it adds a massive amount of adaptability. Anybody that creates any website can essentially add this WordPress plugin, and then people can click that and give likes to a certain person, and then they get rewarded for this content. So it creates a chain of likes for certain content and rewards content that people think is good. So I do think that that's a great approach for mass adoption. So yeah, I do agree that that's a really good product, a product that really has legs in the industry. So then this moves on to the next question then. Basically, it's kind of what you were saying there is about with this depub.app, this particular kind of decentralized Twitter. And we know that Twitter is very centralized and they will kind of remove tweets. We can see that right now with what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. Like there's certain sites that are being removed and stuff. It happens all the time for loads of different situations. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with 4chan. That is very anonymous. You can log in there with an anonymous. Sorry, you don't even need to log in. You can publish anything with anonymous ID. And basically, it just boils down to illegal content and a lot of racism. Now, how are you going to stop it from falling into that kind of zone, essentially?
Yeah, let me go ahead and say first. I think it's the fundamental design of the product is a little bit different. What they are built on top of. From infrastructure level, depub.space is Web3 native. So by default, individuals can participate in the governance of how the platform should look like and how they should govern the community together. Versus, I think 4chan, I'm not super familiar with it, but it's based on the Web2 closed loop of decision-making process. I think that's the first point is really important, where this infrastructure allow individual to be part of it. And that's the first point that I would bring out is depub.space is on a DAO governance module, where you'll be able to participate in what kind of content should be posted on chain. Or even what we're doing right now is we can endorse a group of people where they come from a fact check background, where they come from traditional Web2 media background. They have rich journalism editorial experience, where they can governance this gatekeep for us on behalf of the community. And let's say one day someone break the rules and we don't like them to be on board as the committee, then we can raise another proposal to endorse someone else. So you have this voting and governance model to govern the whole chain operations, including what kind of content should be on there and what should not.
Great answer. So it's essentially a community-governed DAO, and they can vote on what content they want and what content they don't. And then somebody will be employed and essentially paid in Litecoin to kind of moderate the forums, if that makes sense. Yeah?
Yeah. I want to clarify some concept, because I think content censorship and moderation is two different things, two different but very similar things. So censorship is centralized. The platform decide what to remove and what to promote. or what to put it down to the list. But content moderation, the community has involvement in that. So and this is the background of what Phoebe just mentioned, so that people can involve. It's not like the platform decides everything. And in fact, probably depending on your IP, probably you are seeing a hashtag fact check in a very prominent position, and it's a strong emphasis on the platform. And some fact check centers in the international fact check network are already posting their fact check report on depub.space, such as the one from Taiwan. But it's probably only available to certain IPs, not because of censorship, but just because it's Chinese.
I see, yeah, because your initial target market was the Chinese market, of course, and hopefully that's going to extend out beyond that in the future. So then let's have a look at some other questions. There was a question from Bartolomeij, and he said, are there any tools planned that will allow musicians to sell their own works directly on their profile? I know there's a competitor called Bitsong that's already kind of essentially doing that on the Cosmos. Do you intend to branch out into kind of that area, not just NFTs, but adding music as well and transferring that across?
Yeah, first, we wouldn't see Bitsong as a competitor. Quite friend of them, actually. As we mentioned, LikeCoin is a decentralized publishing infrastructure. So you publish anything on top of LikeCoin, and it becomes an NFT, so that it can be remixed to be placed in NFT marketplace and also other possibilities. And there are various steps that's working on top of LikeCoin, and there may be more apps. So to your question, it is actually just decided by the community whether they want to build a music app on top of the LikeCoin ecosystem. Say if people find that there's already a song that satisfies their needs, probably no one is doing that. But if someone is doing not just music, actually anything, can be comics that we don't yet have, can be novels, can be image stock photos. They can launch their own dApp, and then we have both development budget and marketing budget to help them build their apps on top of our ecosystem. So again, ecosystem. Yep.
That's the beauty of layer ones, isn't it? Being able to develop any dApp you want under them based on community involvement or based on involvement of, the leadership.
But one thing I would like to add is why build on LikeCoin NFT on everyday content or things that we just suggested is because the NFT module that we tailor-made or we designed it for publishing is a bit different than you mint NFT on other chain. Especially we can have an updated versioning on NFTs. Those kind of special, unique feature, if you are in the publishing industry, you will understand why you need it so much. Because before you actually publish a novel or a final product for sale, you actually have a lot of versions. Versus there are a lot of existing NFT module that actually didn't cater this need. So that's why we consider ourselves as decentralized publishing infrastructure, because in a lot of details, we cater this kind of need. Let's say people who make music or people who produce blog posts, you might have a lot of versions, but you still want them to be on chain. Or you make videos, James, I think you understand too. You might have version 1, version 2. And one day you became a really famous influencer. Then you decided to mint an NFT, but people can steal your track record of your versioning. So this is the unique point where we position as depub versus other chain. They might have focused on other level, but that's what I think we're good at and why we designed it to be that way.
So linking the NFT to you personally on the depub space. So It's quite interesting, really, isn't it? This the nature of an app like depub, because basically, if you want to be anonymous, you kind of can be, because it's not linked to your, because the ID is not linked to you. However, if you're using a centralized platform that uses KYC and send money to that, then it is linked to you. So it's kind of like all or nothing, really. Like, they'll know every single transaction you've ever had on chain, or they'll know nothing about your transactions on chain. But because through the app itself, every time you publish on depub.space, you do have to pay a fraction of a Litecoin, right? So that money, that Litecoin has to come from somewhere initially. So I wonder if it ever truly will be anonymous, if that makes sense.
Yeah, very good question. We have a faucet. We have a public faucet.
Oh, great.
Which drops 0.2 like to everyone who can like complete a simple challenge, but not having to reveal their IP or any personal information. So if people are really concerned about their anonymity, or may not be just this reason, or maybe just they needed a little bit of Litecoin to start with, they can always use faucet.lite.co to get a bit of Litecoin to post on depub.space and use other dApps on top of Litecoin.
I think that's a wonderful feature. I didn't know about that. So yeah, I'll be sure to put the details of that faucet down below. So
and maybe I should also mention one feature. I'm not sure if James know that you can actually link your profile to your Desmos profile.
Yes.
So you can actually either identify yourself as a validator or you're an active member of Cosmos. So it's the other way around as well.
That's pretty good, because I've been trying to identify uses for Desmos, and we finally got one. So it's great that you're connecting to other platforms on the Cosmos and integrating well in that way.
Yeah, that's the intention. I think the key is still choice, whether users have choice. Users can choose to be anonymous, or users can choose exactly the opposite, to prove that I'm really this person through Desmo or other tools.
Yeah, very, very good. I think you've done a great job of answering my questions today. I've got one more question, and that's related to potential candidates. Online, you are currently looking for candidates, according to your Twitter. Just for the people out there, what kind of candidates are you looking for to employ? This might help you out a little bit.
Yeah, we welcome anyone that is interested in decentralized publishing, honestly. For jobs, for the job career like description that we provided, they are mainly for referencing on what we need right now. But however, if they are not listed there and you think you have skills to bring in, then we're open for that. We are always hiring for developers that are interested in building infra, building dApps, also marketing experts that are interested in promoting decentralized publishing. Especially we are currently have opening under like the sub-DAOs, which means we actually have 2 sub-DAOs that represent different work group in Litecoin, including marketing and including technical sub-DAO. Keen is on behalf of technical sub-DAO. They hire 3 developers through the community, I think just last quarter. And for myself, I'm holding on behalf of marketing sub-DAO, which I think we have 5 to 6 people working in that sub-DAO for Litecoin as well. So we basically are open for any positions at the moment. So if you're interested, it's definitely welcome to DM us or join our Discord.
You heard it here first, guys. All right, so is there anything you guys would like to add about future features, or anything you're interested in about Litecoin that you want to let everybody know about?
Yes. So as you heard, NFT module is coming, and there are from 2 levels. One is on our chain level. We will have this upgrade in Q3. And all the dApps, including depub.space, it will also support NFT feature. So if you are looking to develop something related to publishing NFT, then you are welcome to learn more about LikeCoin Chain. If you are a user, you are a content creator looking to mint NFT from your everyday content, then you are welcome to learn about depub.space, especially Cosmos users. So I guess this is the main takeaways for today.
So the general development of depub.space, looking for developers to help. Also, how NFTs will integrate. I do have a quick question about that, because when I was doing my studying on NFTs, the man that I was reviewing, he was a person that has a PhD in the space, and he was stating that when you buy an NFT, you actually buy the keys, essentially. So you buy the treasure map to the treasure, so the hyperlink. And the hyperlink is registered on the blockchain, but the actual NFT image is not registered on the blockchain. So if at the end, if the web page goes down, you might have the link, still saved on the blockchain that's yours. But if that, the end product goes down, the HTML, it's game over. So with this, is it going to be like a new form of technology, for example, where the NFTs will be embedded onto the blockchain, or will it be, again, similar like treasure map, treasure?
Yeah, it's a very good question. On LikeCoin, that doesn't happen because say there are two levels. We didn't go into this detail. LikeCoin is storing the metadata of the content, like you said, just like any other NFT. But we're integrated with decentralized storage as well, including not just IPFS but also Arweave. So, say for example, if you are posting an image on depub.space, I'm not sure if you have tried before. Your metadata is stored on LikeCoin Chain. And then also your image is stored permanently on Arweave. Also, if you use the WordPress plugin to say publish your article, and your article has images, the images are stored on Arweave permanently. It doesn't die out with the change of URLs. And so the concept, I would call this concept native NFT, meaning it's not like the existing NFT which are immigrants. Say the content was published somewhere else, say probably on YouTube or probably even on paper, and then you make it an NFT. While in LikeCoin, it's NFT right at the moment the content is published. It's on chain the moment the content is born. So it's very different. A very different concept is native NFT.
I see. And does that follow the same pattern as what I read in the white paper before of I publish an NFT, somebody else links to that NFT later, and it's always linked back to the original poster?
Yeah, that's exactly the concept, right? Yeah. And very similar to how NFT works. Like when your NFT we sell, the original creator get a part of it.
The royalties. Yep, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Great answer. Thank you so much for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, it was great talking to you guys today, Phoebe and Kin. Thank you for coming on. And yeah, I'll be sure to get this out today.
Thank you.